Hey guys, Jackdaw here with another news roundup, this time with June's updates on the next Dragon Age, and we've got a lot to go over today. EA Play 2021 is just around the corner, however BioWare are not making an appearance. A Dragon Age data mined PSN Alpha File has been discovered, BioWare have a permanent general manager, there's been another major staff departure, and we have closure on Mark Darrah's departure, as well as his own insights on the next Dragon Age. So without further ado, let's press ahead with today's updates, starting with EA Play 2021. So I originally had recorded my thoughts on a potential Dragon Age 4 reveal at EA Play 2021 because of the weird shapes in the EA Play tease and one of them looking like a wolf, perhaps indicating towards a potential Dragon Age 4 reveal at EA Play 2021. However, unfortunately BioWare have came out and confirmed that the next Dragon Age and Mass Effect will not be at EA Play 2021 this year. While all of us clowns had hope, they are taking a rain check from the event this year. While it does suck, it is actually a really good thing because it shows that BioWare are going to continue with the production stages of the game without marketing the project so early. I just made a video this week about the potential release window of Next Dragon Age being a 2023 plus release date, and given that we still don't have the title or a potential release window on the next game, I think that by skipping EA Play, this shows that BioWare are focusing more on the project and potentially aiming it towards a 2023 release window. But unfortunately it means that we will not be getting any brand new Dragon Age content in July. Even so, BioWare confirmed in a blog post last year that we'll see something on the next Dragon Age this year. Hopefully BioWare will let us know when that will be. I suspect either Gamescom, Dragon Age Day, or most likely the Game Awards 2021. I really do appreciate though that BioWare did tweet that we will not see the next Dragon Age at EA Play, otherwise we would have spent 40 minutes watching an event with no Dragon Age and we would have been more disappointed having seen the event. I think what's weird for me is we got so much content last year that perhaps BioWare were initially having this 2022 release, or they were just hyping things up, and now we've gone to 2021 and there has been pretty much silence and it just feels a little bit awkward. In any event, EA Play will not have any brand new BioWare content. Moving on to an update that loads of fans are freaking out about, a Dragon Age 4 Alpha File has apparently been data mined on the PlayStation Store by a seemingly credible Twitter account, PlayStation Game Size. The tweet suggests that the PlayStation Store may be updated with something Dragon Age 4 related in July before EA Play. However, the contents of that file is quite elusive. Many gaming sites like Games Radar and VG247 seem to believe that this alpha file either relates to a new trailer revealed at EA Play, or it's something like new art or a proper store listing for the next Dragon Age on the PlayStation Store. I could spend ages speculating what it could be, but in truth we don't know. Personally, when I saw this tweet, I took it with a grain of salt and thought that it could simply be a file for internal testing between the developers while working remotely. But then again, why would they need to upload that to the PlayStation Store? The team do have new infrastructure to support streaming developer console kits while working remotely, so I'm honestly not sure in the slightest. Lots of people have reached out to me and have shared their sentiment that this file is a demo for players to try out in July, and given the production time of the next Dragon Age, I hope not. I don't think it makes sense for the game to be in its alpha stages right now, considering it just started production last year. And even if the project is in its alpha stages, why would we have an alpha demo for a single player Dragon Age game? Again, who knows? It could potentially be a small demo that BioWare want to reveal to fans in July to let everyone have first-hand opinions on the next Dragon Age. It's certainly not something that BioWare have done before, but hopefully they are going to be making changes to the next Dragon Age. But regardless, whatever it is, I'm just going to assume that this is a harmless store listing for the PlayStation Store or an internal console test for the developers. Continuing ahead, Gary McKay, formerly the interim general manager of BioWare following Casey Hudson's departure, has been confirmed as the permanent general manager. In a BioWare blog post, Gary shared a bit about his history and his plans for BioWare. Gary started his career in the games industry with EA back in 1998, which is the year I was born. He said it was so exciting to see BioWare and EA grow in the early days. He spent the next 7 years with EA before moving on, but now you could say he's come full circle. BioWare has been at the top of Gary's bucket list of studios he's wanted to work with. He believes that BioWare are unique because the studio has an incredible history of building critically successful games and universes that are truly beloved by so many fans. Gary thinks success for BioWare in the future is all about rebuilding that reputation and delivering on that promise of quality. Ultimately, Gary shared that with his direction, EA are laser focused on releasing the types of games BioWare has built a reputation on, those being high quality console, PC and online RPG games with rich stories, unforgettable characters and vast worlds. The teams continue to work on Next Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and this is a milestone year, being the 10th anniversary, with more to come from Star Wars The Old Republic. Honestly, that's pretty exciting. I'm happy to see Gary staying on as the general manager, and based on his blog post, he does have the right mentality quality that the studio needs going forward. He's hoping that BioWare delivers on their promises that they've made this time around. In the opposite, more skeptical direction, I've got to talk about another major staff departure in the Dragon Age team. In my early June news update, I mentioned 2 departures from the team in March and May. However, recently, in late June, lead product director Gabe Highland left the Dragon Age team. From the Games for Groceries live streams I did see, I really liked Gabe, and I'm honestly so sad to see her go. I wish her the absolute best on her future endeavours. According to Gabe's LinkedIn, her role at BioWare included representing the product management discipline in the game's leadership team, guiding best practices in live service design, KPI implementation and use, business decisions, and building product management discipline on the development side. Honestly, just based on that, it sounds like a major departure and blow to the team in my opinion, but I'm not going to assume the worst just yet. However, it is worth considering that there has been 7 departures in 7 months, each within very different departments in the Dragon Age team. I just hope that each developer has left for their own reasons and not because the next Dragon Age is suffering through a rough development process. Again, I'm still hopeful for the best, but being very wary and acknowledging a red flag when I see one. I will be sharing more about how I'm feeling about BioWare in my next Landsmeet podcast with FuzzleCon, so stay tuned for that. Moving on, the final update I have for you is quite juicy. Former executive producer Mark Darrah was interviewed by MinMax Show about his career at BioWare and why he decided to leave the studio. Throughout the interview, Mark discussed his lessons from crunch, Dragon Age 2's rush development, BioWare's approach to creating big games, and not bursting any bubbles regarding fan theories on the next game. I've highlighted Mark's major remarks with regards to the next Dragon Age and his departure of the studio. Regarding pre-production work within BioWare, Mark said that there's a hubris that happens in AAA games development when projects are in early production with a very small team. The developers have a tendency to think that their project is going to be great and nothing could go wrong, that they have learned from their previous mistakes and can work around them this time around. However, as the team grows and the pivots of production change, that's when the issues start to affect the project. As the next Dragon Age pivots into production and the team gets bigger and bigger, Mark's interested to see if that sentiment is true and how the studio will combat that if it is. Mark talked about why Anthem couldn't just be delayed for another year, and it's a much more complex situation than it seems. With regards to Anthem, there were over 200 developers working on that project in its final months, a very tired team who had been crunching hard. If the game was delayed for a year, that would not only increase the budget by an astronomical amount given how many staff were on the project, but it would have also pushed the developers further. The team were already burnt out, and Mark said that they wouldn't have survived another year on that project. I found this insight particularly interesting because I am rooting for a 2023 or plus release window for the next Dragon Age. However, Mark's remark proves that while it's not impossible, it's certainly not an easy process to get the executives and the team to agree on a delay. Before Mark left BioWare, he said that he was able to move the needle somewhat with regards to a speedier development process without crunching the Dragon Age team too hard. Hopefully, the team still follows his handling of avoiding as much crunch as possible. Respectfully, Mark pointed out the amazing Dragon Age YouTubers and why he doesn't create videos bursting our bubbles. I'm just going to roll the clip for this.
You know, there is a entire segment of YouTube which is Dragon Age fans talking about Dragon Age theories and like, you know, watching the trailers and picking them apart, and I could do that. I feel like that would be almost destructive to everybody because I could deflate all the theories, some of which are completely wrong, some of which are amazingly right. I don't think the community actually wants that.
Right.
They might sort of think they do, but I think if I just sort of pulled away the curtain, I think they'd be like, oh, but now what are we going to talk about? Except that it would be great for my metrics, but I don't think anyone really wants that.
As one huge aspect of the Dragon Age YouTube community, I really appreciate Mark not pulling away the curtain and still giving me things to talk about, even if it sacrifices his own metrics. Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate that. Mark also noted that anything from this point on that comes out from BioWare, he is shockingly uninformed of. And I'm going to roll the clip for this one too.
Because we've now moved, I think, beyond the horizon of anything that comes out of Dragon Age at this point. Like if they're at EA Play, and I don't know if they're at EA Play or not,
right,
then whatever that is will be something that I didn't have anything to do with.
So it seems like Mark will be able to enjoy the next Dragon Age's marketing as a highly insightful fan this time around. Wrapping up, Mark Darrah shared many reasons why he left the studio. Mark wanted to create smaller games with smaller teams. Mark was with BioWare for 23 years and he wanted to move on, which is also my age. And as the next Dragon Age was moving towards production, there were aspects of the Dragon Age team that wanted to be in the production stages. However, they weren't ready for that team to enter production and therefore needed to go through more pre-production work with a leader. Mark wasn't up for that challenge anymore, which played a tiny factor in his departure. However, he believes that once that specific team are in production, they will move mountains, but they need someone who can lead that. Mark shared that his departure was not coordinated with Casey Hudson, despite the fact that they both decided to leave the studio at the same time. Mark said that there was nothing that triggered them at the same time to leave, other than potential corporate friction, but nothing major. In fact, Mark stayed on with BioWare until February 2021, whereas Casey Hudson left in December 2020. Be that as it may, Mark has done wonders for BioWare over the past 23 years, and based on what he said, there was no huge moment that caused his departure other than a change of scenery, which is completely understandable. He was at BioWare for literally my entire lifespan. It's okay that he's wanted to move on and do other things with his life. In any event, that's all I've got for you today. Let me know your thoughts on today's stories. How do you feel about BioWare these days? What do you think about Mark's departure with clarity now? I honestly feel a lot better given that it wasn't a coordinated departure with Casey Hudson. Anyhow, until the next one, I've been Jackdaw and you're already in the right place for all the next Dragon Age updates, but I should go. Whoa, 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 whoa.